My dad joined in the laughter, laughing even harder. I glared at my mother from where I was, but she didn't even notice. She was too busy laughing and talking to my aunt, saying something about how my sister had a crush on my husband for so many years. Then, as if that wasn't enough, my aunt turned towards my husband and asked him loudly and thoughtlessly, "Do you have any brothers or cousins Diana could date?" Maybe? Some of the relatives actually laughed when they heard this. My sister just stood there blushing, smiling slightly. She didn't try to stop my parents. She didn't try to change the subject. She just stood there enjoying the attention like it was a compliment. I felt the heat rising in my face, but I calmed myself down because we had prepared for this. I was going to say something, but I was going to say it loud enough for everyone to hear. I wasn't going to wait to get a text from a slightly deaf cousin the next day asking us why I humiliated my parents. I turned towards my mother and said, "How dare you talk about my husband like this?" The whole table went silent and started listening. I told them, "You promised me, both of you, that you wouldn't cross this line again. You swore you would respect our boundaries and stop putting us in awkward situations, but here we are again. You're laughing about my sister having a crush on my husband. You find it funny? Because you're just as idiotic as she is." Then I addressed the rest of the table, my cousins, aunts, and uncles, and said, "Let me ask you a question. How many of you think it's okay for someone to openly say they have a crush on their own sibling's partner and for the whole family to laugh about it like it's a comedy scene? Do you really think this is normal?" Suddenly, no one had an answer. Then I turned towards my sister. I just let it all out. "You've been acting like a pervert towards my husband for years. You flirt with him every time we're around. You've sent him text messages late at night even though he's never replied and has asked you to stop. You try to stand too close to him, you touch him when he's clearly uncomfortable, and you act like it's all a joke." My sister's face fell immediately. I looked around the table and continued, "And you all think this is funny? You really think it's okay for someone to act like this towards their sister's husband?" I turned to my parents and said, "And you too, how many times have you made comments about how my husband and Diana would make a great couple? You've been doing this for years. You even said things like that on our wedding day. Do you realize how sick that is? How incredibly disrespectful it is, not just to me, but to my husband?" Everyone was completely silent. I was so mad at my aunt too for going along with my mother's joke. So I looked her directly in the eye and asked, "Would you ever say these kinds of things about your own daughter's partner? Would you tell your son-in-law he'd be a better match for someone else in the family? Would you let your daughter act like this towards someone else's husband?" She looked surprised and then slowly shook her head. "Exactly. That's what I damn well thought. So why is it okay when my parents do it to me?" My dad looked like he was about to explode. His face was red, his fist clenched on the table, but I told him, "Don't you dare say much. Don't even try. I think Mom and your sister seem to have excellent chemistry. Maybe they should be together too. Nothing. Just a thought, always in jest. Right?"